the soul, and logia is the study. Philosophy and physiology made the early history muddy. Until 1879, one cleared the space. University of Leipzig, Germany was the place. He built the first research lab, setting the empirical foundation, making psychology a distinct science for the human nation. Today it's defined without the soul or the mystic. It's the empirical study of the mind and the behavioristic. Structuralism breaks consciousness down to sensations and parts, using introspection, self-observing the private thoughts in our hearts. But introspection failed, it was too subjective to measure or view. So William James brought functionalism and adaptive breakthrough. If they ask what the mind is made of, structuralism is the test. If they ask what the mind is used for, functionalism is the quest. The theory is interrelated, ideas explaining what we see. Culture is the shared beliefs passed down historically. Consciousness is the awareness of immediate thought. Natural selection says survival traits are naturally caught. Subjectivity means your worldview is biased and unique. Overcome your own perception for the objective truth you see. But 1913, John B. Watson makes the behaviorist claim. Behavior is overt observable action. That is the game. Abandon the study of consciousness, keep the environment clean. But Watson knew hereditary instincts operate unseen. B.F. Skinner agreed internal mental events hold science back. Focus on operant conditioning, keep it on the learning track. Then Freud brought psychoanalysis, looking at the unconscious flaw. But he was a medical doctor, psychiatry was his law. Modern science rejects Freud, he can't be tested empirically. So humanism revolted, rejecting views so bleak, emphasizing human freedom and the personal growth we seek. Cognition is acquiring knowledge, reasoning in the mental gear, though we are mostly unaware of how the neural networks steer. Piaget, Chomsky, and Simon brought cognitive theories to the group, while head map the cell assembly, neurons firing in a loop. Evolutionary psych uses natural selection for adaptation, while positive psych focuses on strengths, ignoring the clinical fixation. Memorize the 6 perspectives using PBHCBE: psychoanalytic, behavioral, humanistic, cognitive, biological, evolutionary. In 1945, World War II drove the clinical boom. Treating soldiers' trauma gave professional practice the room. Need to prescribe a medical pill, psychiatry is the degree. Need to treat behavioral skills, clinical PhD. Academic research studies data, let's break down the 9. Developmental tracks the human lifespan timeline. Social looks at interpersonal forces and the group. Experimental test perception and the learning loop. Behavioral neuroscience studies brain chemistry and the gland. Cognitive studies memory and how information is planned. Personality tracks behavioral consistency and internal traits. Psychometrics measures capacity with statistical rates. Educational research is the curriculum in the school. Health links psychology to physical illness and the medical tool. Professional psychology applies the research to the human test. Memorize the 4 with CCS, how to beat the rest. Clinical diagnosis, mental disorders doing their absolute best. Counseling treats everyday problems like family or career. School psychologists are licensed to treat the students right here. Industrial and organizational applies metrics to the corporate space. Applying the psychological science to the workplace race. Empirical observe it systematically, don't guess the cause. Deemed too theoretically diverse, multiple theories can share the laws. The Theme 2. Socio-historical culture and time dictate the scientific thought. Multiple causes, complex behaviors, never cleanly caught. Theme 5. Cultural heritage, weird bias skewed the early test. Theme 6. Heredity and environment, nature and nurture jointly do their best. Subjective experience, your interpretation is heavily biased. Critical thinking demands skepticism, questioning the empirical lack. Always seek contradictory evidence and alternative explanations to track. Skepticism looks at the socio-historical context for the test. Cultural norms gave men more practice to build and steer. It's environmental socialization, not genetics, that makes the advantage appear.